Communication is one of our basic needs. We require to communicate with many people for personal and professional purpose. But while communicating, we may face many hurdles or problems. Sometimes the message is not passed properly or gets lost. There are chances of misunderstanding between the sender or the receiver. Sometimes language used in the communication is not understood properly. This results into communication breakdown or communication failure. There are many reasons behind the problems in the communication process. Communication barriers, any obstacle or problem in the process of communication which hurdles or which hinders, which obstructs the process of communication is called as communication barrier. Barriers are part of process of communication. Whenever we are communicating, we encode and decode. We use various channels for passing messages. At any level or any moment or stage, there can be problem in communication process. Sometimes the sender may not use proper language that the receiver will understand. Receiver may not be able to decode properly. There can be lot of noise in the surrounding which can disturb us. It rarely happens that barriers do not arise in communication process. Many times barriers arise in mind of the sender and receiver. The intended message are not sent to the receiver. Here, as far as the part of the communication is concerned, the important part is verbal and non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication. In face-to-face encounters, non-verbal communication is often just as important as verbal communication. As you are speaking, information can be conveyed non-verbally as well as verbally. The non-verbal signals of listeners will provide instant feedback. Non-verbal communication is often referred to as body language. Non-verbal communication techniques are often used unconsciously. For instance, while speaking, we may throw our arms around while listening. A sudden shook may result in a sharp intake of breath. Such a non-verbal signals and add impact to meaning, and they combine to provide an instant impression in a way that written communication or telephone calls cannot have the action as here already mentioned. The posture, way people stand or sit can say an awful lot about how they feel. Someone who is nervous or anxious will find will feel with the hands well back in their chair, legs crossed at the ankle, may be seen as being relaxed and confident. Sometimes with a gloomy expression, head down and lifeless, is probably feeling depressed or dejected. Sometimes sitting forward in their chair, looking intently at the speaker, is showing a great deal of interest. The ability to interpret such signals and act as necessary in important in developing good human relations. Facial expressions, human faces are capable of communicating a wide range of expressions. and emotions. A smile conveys good humor, raised eyebrows denotes questioning and disbelief. A frown denotes upset or worry. Eye contact is also important in the uh, part of the communication, that is the non-verbal. The importance of eye contact is paramount. Looking someone directly in the eyes suggests openness, honesty, confidence, and comfort. Looking away gives an impression of being cunning or sly or perhaps just unsure and uncomfortable. When speaking to one person, try to look them in the eye. When speaking to group, avoid fixing your gaze on one or two people. Let your eyes roam regularly at all corners of the room so that someone feels involved. Touching. Touch is an important tool to convey warmth, reassurance, support, encouragement, and comfort. In some culture, because touching implies intimacy and familiarity, there are very strict rules that governs who may touch whom and how. These norms of behavior may change according to age, status, culture, background, etc. In today's workplace, touching has become rather important as it could sometimes be construed as harassment. Some ways to improve the non-verbal communication. There are some points. I will read the points. Uh, Number one, be honest, especially when communicating emotions. Use a firm, friendly handshake when meeting new people. Maintain eye contact with your entire audience. Reinforce your words with tones and gestures. Be aware of your postures. Use appropriate gestures to support your points. Limited the posture and appearance of people you want to impress. Show respect for speakers and listeners. Touch people only when appropriate and acceptable. Smile genuinely, as a fake one will be obvious. These are the some of the points which plays very important role. Then barriers of communication. Any parameter that limits the purpose of channel of communication between the transmitter and receiver is a barrier of communication. A communication barrier may limit or reduce the ease at which we communicate, and hence the name is barrier. Although barriers to effective communication may be different for different situations, the following are some of the many main barriers: linguistic, cultural barriers, organizational structure barriers, attitude barriers, perception barriers, physiological barriers, technological barriers, sociological barriers, religious barriers, etc. These are some of the barriers in the part of the communication. This part we have seen about the introductory of the barrier. Then we will move towards the another parts in detail, such as a semantic barrier, then the types of the barrier, where linguistic, psychological, emotional, physical, cultural, organizational, structural, attitude, perception, physiological, technological. Then psychological barriers, then the emotional barriers, then the verbal communication. In the verbal communication, part of the semantics is there, and after that we will move towards the new part, strategies to overcome non-verbal communication barriers and strategies to overcome non-verbal communication hurdles or obstacles. Such points that we have to deal. What we have seen is non-verbal communication, where your posture, your eye contact, facial expression, touching is important. Some ways to improve your non-verbal communication and barriers of communication. Okay, thank you. Good day.